What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Shari Sky.
Live and direct. You know this is Sprint Ravers.
And you're listening to the Millennial View podcast.
Millennial View podcast.
So in this podcast, we will be talking about and discussing issues and, topics that are very much relevant to this generation. Pretty much.
Yeah, but I'm going to give you guys a little bio on myself. Those of you that are not familiar, my name is Sprint Ravers. I am a teacher at a special ed high school. I teach a career course. It's a course on how to have a successful career and also to be a successful employee in the work environment. And that's not taught a lot in school nowadays. So it's a blessing that I'm giving my knowledge to these children on how to acquire these their desired careers,
My name is Shari Sky, and I'm a student at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. I'm an entrepreneur, a model, and now a host. Our topic today will be what separates the boys from the men. Actually, it's a question, and we'll be having a conversation with a special guest today.
And I got so much things to say, so fellas, jot down some notes because really and truly, this is class.
And ladies too, jot down some notes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest in the building. One of my close personal friends. He just say that he has a bachelor's in economics, politics, and law. And he's pro-black. So, ladies and gentlemen, Javon, welcome to the podcast.
I don't know if I can really top that. I do quite a few things. Pro-black, pro-women, of course, that's important too. But you can't really be pro-black without being pro-women. So I am currently dealing with students in colleges in terms of helping them through this pandemic, helping them try to arrange housing, because there's a lot of ways that if you really look at what's going on, you see the same way that politicians deal with their constituents in terms of citizens, same way colleges deal with their students in terms of housing and things of that nature. So I'm kind of basically dealing with politics within colleges. I think that's probably how I could summarize it as the vice chair of the board of network directors at my alma mater. But aside from that, _profound and the rest of it, you are.
So today our topic is what separates the boys from the men. What do you think separates the boys from the men?
Well, I gotta give my disclaimers. 1, I'm heterosexual. 2, anything I'm saying is for heteronormative people, cis males. I don't know, I can't tell a gay person how to act, a transsexual how to act. I'm just strictly talking about straight, black men, heteronormative, heterosexual. So I would say the main thing that separates boys from men is really just, you have to establish a level of values first before you can call yourself a man. You have to have your own. It's easier if you're religious because you can just go to if you Christian, you can go to the Bible and be like, these are my values. If you're Muslim, you could go okay, I'm going to this for that.
The Quran.
But if you're not religious, it's a little more difficult because you're going to have to grow up in a society and then figure out your values and then establish it from there. So I would say the main separator is your ability to lead. Once you have the ability to lead, you're a man.
I feel like there are a lot of things right now in our generation that are becoming trendy. And this kind of pushes us further away from, the values of what we should have as men and women, and what we should, the traits that we should have in order to contribute to a healthy relationship. Toxic is becoming a trend. I feel like people think that, it's a quality to have now. And I feel like the music industry has a lot to do with that.
I think people are adapting. I think that the bar is so low that people are at least let me get $1 out of this, at least let me get a nut out of this, whatever it is. But I don't think that's people's real ideals, because if it was, people wouldn't be complaining in the group chats the way they are. You living your life exactly like these songs, but you sad, you drinking, you smoking.
Yes,
right.
Definitely.
Right.
That's not really what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You're acting like that because you feel like that's the best way for you to at least come up off of your negative situation. And it's going to hit you eventually.
I feel like we're just adapting to how society is right now, and we're trying our best not to fall in a situation and get hurt. So we feel like we have to pretend to be this type of person, and eventually it backfires.
Women fantasize this whole ideal perfect guy that they take a guy that's not fully healed, I guess, and they try to, make their own experiment and, let me throw in a dash of caring and let's throw in an ounce of loyalty. We'll give it a little bit of loving too. Like this is Build-A-Bear workshop. No, it don't work like that, man. Like the dude's supposed to be doing his homework before he takes the test.
Absolutely.
And he should know the answer.
No, to a degree though, I think the people who want to like build a man kind of have like a very weird complex about him because like that's a lot of work. Like the fact that you find that you have the time to build a man and you probably yourself aren't fully together, to me your priorities are not aligned and that's why everything throws off.
Yeah.
That's why it goes back to like, okay, if the guy is in a good place and he has his values, there's nothing to build upon. I find that girls in relationships that end up getting disappointed, I don't really know what you're disappointed by except for your own ideals, but whatever. If the girls want to get disappointed in that situation, it's like he came to you as he was. You tried to teach him like a teacher. You tried to preach to him like a preacher.
Right.
And he heard your message, and at the time he said, yeah, I'm with it. I'm going to do what you do the same way a person in the congregation would. And then they go back home and they go back to their normal. Why? Because that's not who they are.
Yes.
That's not who they are.
That's a good point.
and
That's a good point.
You want to play mommy but not be mommy. It gets bad, which is why everybody kind of has to have their stuff together. Like
I feel like it's very important for us to set our own values as individuals to avoid ourselves from ending up with a toxic person. Because when I date a guy, right, I try to make sure that he has the values first before I go into a relationship with him. I make sure he has the values that I'm looking for.
I find like a lot of girls who talk about like the things they look for in men. I'm like, that's such like a base level thing. It's like when a college goes like, oh, you need to at least have a high school diploma. Like obviously, because that's like. To me, it's like, I feel like because the bar is so low, that becomes like a value you have to speak on. That's like a problem.
That is a problem because for me to say that I'm looking for respect from a guy shouldn't even be on the list because all men should be respectful. And it's sad that that's actually one of the things that I make sure to put out there that, listen, I want you to be respectful. I don't want you to call me out of my name.
Alongside trust and loyalty, that shouldn't be on
communication.
the checklist.
Those shouldn't even be on the checklist. Yeah. I want to make sure that...
You should have studied those already when you were a child. You should have been raised that way by your mother.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna keep it 1,000. Like, I grew up listening to hip hop, reggae, dancehall, all that, and I've never called any girl I'm with like the B word at all. Like, you just won't hear that from me. What's a non-negotiable? Like, what's something you won't negotiate on? Like, you would just leave, like, automatic.
In other words, what are the deal breakers?
Cheating is always my...
compromise, but I know she compromised. Like,
yeah.
No, the thing is, I definitely compromise. You have to compromise in order to make a relationship work. But I feel like a lot of these expectations that men have in this generation and they want you to compromise with are some of the things that I will not compromise with for my own inner peace and my happiness. Like, I will never compromise with a lot of those things. One of the questions men tend to ask if you would allow them to bring someone else in the bedroom, which is so weird.
That's the thing with millennials nowadays. Like, they see something in the media and they're easily influenced by it. And they're like, oh, damn, that shit looks so cool. Let me...
Because everybody's like hypersexualized right now. So it's just kind of like, how much can I do at once? Like, I feel like that's just like a common thing, like hoeing and all that.
Yeah.
But it's like, you want a hoe but be monogamous at the same time, but you're actually a hoe. See,
right.
Whole things like it's terrible.
But it's funny, and it's funny because back then you would get judged for and doing all types.
You'll get judged for oral sex.
Yeah,
and you know what's crazy? It is so rare to find men in our society because I feel like even as a society we force women to be more mature.
Yeah.
I don't feel like God put a different brain.
He said they do.
Y'all definitely do though. Like,
let me explain why I feel like women don't mature more than men. I feel like, all right, so actually in a sense we do, but biologically we don't. I feel like because of the norms of society where we force women to be disciplined, we force women to be focused. We set so many limitations for women that we force them to like figure stuff out growing up, my parents always emphasize on the importance of education. They emphasize on the importance of knowing how to cook, knowing how to clean, knowing how to keep a home, preparing myself to be a wife, which I feel like that is a problem, honestly, because we should be preparing women to be great women, to be comfortable in themselves, to not be insecure. I feel like that should be something we're helping women to learn how to do, and not just to prepare ourselves to be a wife. We have boundaries and we have standards that we have to, adhere to. And because of this, we're more focused.
More than that, like biologically, like our brains literally take longer to develop. Like I think like we have like an extra 2 years on you. And then second, it's real life. Like it does take longer. Secondly, like let's just keep it 1,000. Like if we just look at like actual events, like, and he can speak to this too. Like we can see if there's a bunch of guys that are always at the parties, a bunch of girls that are always at the parties, especially at college.
Mm-hmm.
The dudes will have like a 2.2. Them same girls will have a 3.8.
Yeah.
Videos. It'd be the same 30 videos for
It'd be the same thing.
Yeah, and you know what? Women, I feel like women at a very young age, we learn how to prioritize. We'll do our homework, then come to the party.
Maturity.
Because of how we were raised. Now, if we should raise men the same way, I bet you the maturity will
work that way. I'm telling you.
But I've met very mature men. Brandon is a very mature guy.
There's no Caribbean household that doesn't have parents that tell their kids to do their homework or do their tests or whatever, and won't lash you if you don't. What happens though is literally guys just take longer to adapt to those things. Like literally, I'll be at the barbershop. I'm the one who's gonna pay this man. A girl walks by, everybody stops. We out the window with it. You know what I'm saying? Looking at what's going on. You like a girl who cuts your hair should be cutting your hair. Somebody.
There we go. There we go. Women prioritize. We know we have something to do. We're gonna.
That's the way your brain works. I'm telling you.
Listen.
One thing at a time. Look, if a girl talks to a guy, right, and they tell us like, y'all know how y'all love. Let me not too much generalize, but a lot of women like to send paragraphs at a time or tell you 10 different things at once. Men are trying to look for that one thing that's the reason you spoke and respond to that one thing. Why? Because our brains do not work like that. We're not even intentionally trying to ignore you. We just don't know why you're saying 50 things. Like, you feel sad and you're hungry and, you wish you had your stuff together. In my mind, I'm like, okay, does she need food?
Yo, pulling out that one thing out of the paragraph. Right. Bro, God, I tell you. All the time, like
girls, you follow 4 different things. They're gonna cook for you, give you a hug while looking up LinkedIn at the same time. Like that's just how the brains work. I'm just telling you.
Now I have to come up with a paragraph response to every.
You know what's crazy? I realized that men, you send them a paragraph and they'll pick the most unnecessary thing to talk about. To respond to.
I don't think it's
the most irrelevant thing to respond to. You know what I started doing? I started sending voice notes.
Yeah, it's the fact that one sentence just stands out in the whole. It's like a thematic essay. You have your topic sentence and the attention grabber. You see, like, yo, I minored in English, people. I minored in English, so I noticed the attention grabber. I'm gonna pull that out of the paragraph.
So basically, what you're saying is, if your girlfriend texts you and she's like, "Why were you at the party last night with Danielle?" and boys will be like, "No, that's not even Danielle, that's Marsha. Why were you at the party? That's what I'm talking about."
No, I'll tell you.
Why were you at the party with that girl?
I'll tell you.
Why were you at the party with the girl?
I have the solution though. Just say what the problem is. Just tell me, don't be out with Shorty. Don't tell me, oh, I'm mad because Daniel. Because in my mind, I'm like, did she have beef with Daniel? Be like, yo, I don't like when you're out so late. Or I don't like how you're dancing on her. Don't be like, oh, why was you with Daniel? I was with Daniel because that's not even Daniel. That's actually Pam. And me and Pam are mad cool. So if you don't like Daniel, I'm not going to chill with her. But, like, I'm cool with Pam outside. And just tell me what the problem is. Like, focus on the problem and I'll hit you with the solution.
Thematic essays, bro.
So you heard, ladies,
thematic essays.
Don't send paragraphs. Just pull up at his house.
Y'all can't help it.
No.
You know why? Because when you
No.
emotional space, y'all start ranting.
You know what I've tried to do
Don't start a
You know what I've tried
race.
to do?
Everything will be easy.
Whenever I'm angry, I try to calm down first before I send a voice note.
And you say the wrong thing.
Or say the wrong thing, because
Words
usually
hurt.
I realize that I make most of my decisions when I'm mad. But I've been trying to calm down first, and if I still feel mad about it, you just gotta go.
Or, before the fifth time he does something, the first time you peep it, address it then. Because for you to allow yourself to ramp up to mad, assuming you're not crazy, because I'm assuming you're not crazy.
No, I'm not crazy.
You don't get mad immediately. You
I'm
get
not.
mad
I'm
after
not
the
crazy.
third, fourth, fifth time.
No.
But address it the first time.
No. I leave on pink flags.
Pink flag.
I leave on pink flags. If I see traits that you're probably a cheater, I like to ask questions about your past relationship. I want to know why you broke up with your girl.
If I go to a job, am I worried about fired employees? No.
No.
But y'all worried about my exes. I don't understand that. Why am I worried about your exes?
Ladies, it is so important to ask about the past relationships. I mean, at least the most recent one. What ended the relationship?
Okay, that makes sense.
That don't make sense, yeah.
It does make sense. You need to know what ended the relationship.
So why is it that some women tend to entertain those men that are, I guess, completely healed or qualified to, step into the relationship world? Why do they entertain them?
No, I leave.
I feel like
if
that's
I know,
not fair.
If I'm not healed, I leave people alone. That's what I'm telling you. And even if I'm entertaining other people, it's hard for me to lead them on knowing I'm not healed. I try my best not to do that, because not only will I hurt the person or ruin a good guy, I'm gonna hurt myself.
I mean, as long as you're aware of the fact that you're not fully healed, then I can respect that. But if you're just gonna keep on, leading me on and telling me, oh, I want to do this with you, or I want to do that with you, but then you don't speak to me within the next 3 days, it's like, why are you here? What purpose do you serve? You know what I'm saying?
And you know what's crazy? We have this thing now where men are taking advantage of the talking stage.
What is the talking stage?
And taking advantage?
Yes.
What is the talking
stage? Let me
stage?
explain. The talking stage.
Are you a Leo or a Virgo?
She's a
Virgo.
Virgo. I didn't know that.
This how she's running game right now. This how she running game.
Oh, really? Men are taking advantage of the talking stage. The talking stage is basically the period between you, that little getting to know. The talking stage is the getting to know before you get into a serious relationship. Now, in our culture, we don't do that.
We don't.
In my culture, I see you, I like you, I ask you if you have somebody, you don't, you're my girl, you're my man, and we take things slow in the beginning of our relationship. People act we're together. We act like we're together, we respect each other because we're now together, and then we get a little serious within 3 weeks to a month. That's how we do it in our culture. In this culture, you start talking to somebody, and then within 3-4 months, it depends on the person and how much advantage they want to take of you. Then you ask the person out. The guy asks the person out. Now, I feel like a lot of men, they are talking to multiple women, which I believe that if you're in the talking stage, that's cool, but you shouldn't be having sex with multiple people. But people do what they want to do, right? They talk to multiple women, and then they find themselves liking more than one. And let's say they're talking to one woman for 3 months, the other one for 2 weeks, and now she's new meat. She's new interest. She's this new person. You're getting to know a new person. It's exciting, getting to know someone new is exciting. But you've been talking to this girl for 3 months. She probably has all the qualities that you're looking for. But now you have this new person, and you want to see where this new thing is gonna go. And so you have the person that you've known for 3 months, tagging along. Oh, I don't want anything serious yet. And I feel like that's a problem. That's a huge problem.
You have to know yourself. I was definitely a person who could talk to multiple people and then just choose one. I know, especially my freshman year, I was doing whatever from August to September. But by the time homecoming came, I was chilling. I had my one piece, me and her together. But I would think when you engaging with multiple people type timing, it's very easy to start being okay, it's not even about this girl is new. It's just because she's not annoying me right now. You're annoying me right now. Sending me paragraphs and audios. Now I gotta skirt, and it makes you not want to give proper attention to the relationship you're trying to cultivate, or you should be trying to cultivate.
That's crazy because if you would do something that I don't like, I'm gonna call you out on it. I'm not the paragraph girl. Like I said, I'm the voice note girl because you're gonna hear this accent. Okay, you gonna hear this wrath. Okay. I tried my best to not go off about things that piss me off. I try to talk about it, but sometimes some guys act very slow, and you have to just remind them that
they're not acting. Remember the maturity thing? They're not acting. Like, they really don't follow on time.
My thing with that is that you have guys that are not gonna, apologize. They're not gonna admit their wrongs. Egos and pride get the best of them. I mean, it's on the side of the women too. The egos and the prides get the best of them. When are we gonna sit down, analyze the situation, and just man the F up and
woman the F up?
Yeah, nah, but for real, when are we gonna do that and just admit our wrongs and just talk? Just talk
Honestly,
about it.
I have a lot of ego, but if I'm wrong in a situation, I will apologize and I will reach out and apologize. I've done it before. I've done it multiple times. Because I like to walk away from a relationship knowing I've done everything that I could have done. Because once I get over you, trust me, there's no coming back.
Absolutely. People need to normalize that.
I don't get why, like, a lot of girls, though, like, while you're in a relationship and you're still trying to keep it, you're on 10 in terms of, like, yelling and whatever you bargain about. But when you're ready to kind of, like, be done with it, now you want to be calm and speak clearly. Like, I feel like if that calmness and clearness is spoken on earlier, it will be much easier to kind of figure out where you're at with things.
I don't think so because every time I have a problem, most of the time I'm calm. I'm not gonna sit here and lie that I'm always calm, because sometimes some things triggers you off. But most of the time I try to communicate. Because what do you think about 50-50 relationships?
Do you mean financially? Do you mean like overall?
It's overall.
Yeah, overall, of course.
If we're thinking overall, it is 50-50. If we're talking who's gonna be the person who, again, like, if I already believe that, like, the guy should be leading, then obviously I think that most of the time I'm gonna be the one that comes forward and, like, regulates when it comes to what the discussion or the disagreement is about, because you can be in paragraph form or whatever, and I'm coming to you like, I just time to, like, actually have a conversation. Like, this is what happened. This is how I felt. This is what triggered this. What's going on with you? When it comes to financial, though, like, I would say the guy should absolutely, like, I don't want a girl who's literally just like you have to have money in your wallet. Like, don't be so ready for me to pay that, like, it's like an abomination for you to, like, I'll take care of the tax. Like, let me tell you no. I'm going to tell you no, but I expect you to be putting things into this. Every time, I'm flying you out this, that, and the third, and you know what I mean? Like, now when it's time for the PS5 to drop, you looking confused. Like, your nails done, hair done, Kendrick's Boutique, all that. You can't pay for the controller? The 2K? It's like $70 retail? Like, what's the discussion? You out here at Ruth Chris with me? Like, I promise you the tax alone was way more than the Happy Meals you've been eating. Like, I'm like, what's going on right now? So I feel like when it comes to financial, I would say like 60-40 if y'all are like 60 leading towards a man if, like, the guy doesn't have that much money. But, like, in general, like, I feel like in a perfect, like, marriage situation, it would be, like, more like 70-30, again, financial, because I just feel like the guy should be leading. And that's, like, at the minimum. Like, the more that a guy can take care of, I just feel like, again, that goes back to leadership, that goes back to taking care of yours. But when I say the 50-50 part, I do believe if a man comes with something, a woman's supposed to multiply it. So that's where your 50 comes in. Like,
yep.
Really and truly, I don't need a woman buying me a PS5. I'm just saying, like, I could just get that on my own.
All right. For me, I have this thing about me where I want to make sure the guy I'm talking to is spending before I start spending, because I'm a big spender. I'm a very big spender, and I want to...
Would you say that receiving gifts is one of your love languages? Is that what you would say?
It may be one of my love languages. I don't know. I don't. What you mean? Every woman.
I don't think that's a love language to me.
It is a love language. Even if it's not yours, it is still a love language. Okay?
I feel like some people take advantage of that because it's like they feel like, oh, the way to win my heart is to buy me a pink sweatshirt.
No. When we talk about love language, we're not only talking about relationships. When I'm in a relationship with somebody and You take care of stuff. I don't have
Is
any
he really
problem.
gonna pay, or is he gonna be on some? Oh, we're splitting the bill.
No, I gotta make sure. I gotta make sure my man is free. Like his hands are free when it comes to paying for
the
stuff.
record, I want to say if the guy asks the girl out, he's paying. If the girl asks the guy out, she's paying. If you guys both agree on going out, then you guys can split the bill there.
No, we never split bills.
You never split bills, really?
No.
So if I agree,
let me explain myself. No. Let me explain myself, please. Let me explain myself. I never split the bill. I'm sorry, unless I'm going out with my friends. You're either taking care of the bill or I'm taking care of the bill. I have no problem taking care of the bill.
I've been in situations where a girl brought her girls with her and I still paid for everybody. And here's the thing, bro.
How is that funny?
I'm gonna keep it 1,000. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. This is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You can't play checkers with her. You gotta play chess.
Period.
Really?
But don't bring your friends on
this. This is what's gonna happen. Let's say her and her friends are there, right? You split the bill evenly, everybody goes home. What's the difference between her introducing her friends to her man versus her introducing her friends to another friend? Versus when you a man in a situation, all her girls, you gotta again, you're playing chess. If you do that and her girls are with her, I promise you her girls aren't getting that treatment from whoever they're talking to. So you're already top dog on top of however you look, on top of however you talk, on top of when they listen to them garbage ass songs. You know, F these men. You're looking at her like you can't even talk like that. Like he paid for he fed us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's so true.
It puts you on a pedestal, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's just new to me, and I guess if that's the way it is, then.
But if I'm going,
you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. But if you do, here's the thing, right? I know every guy wants their girl to feel like he's that man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the man. Like you don't want her sending you these yes, we talked about societal things being BS, but there's a certain level of truth to it. Like you don't want her looking at all these other men and rappers and whatever and being like, wow. She don't necessarily expect you to buy her a Lambo truck, but you won't even buy her dinner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't even take me on trips.
So you look very crazy. It's just it will always be a level of comparison. And I get because at the same time, if you're really trying to be with somebody, you gotta know who you're trying to be with. Because if she's just a girl you're talking to and you're just messing with her and you don't really see a future with her, of course you're gonna split that bill.
No, set those boundaries. Set those boundaries and let her know.
If you somebody 10 years out, or even 5 years out, or even 1 year out, what is the problem spending? Let's say what's a regular meal if you went to a decent spot, $60 for the both of you, $70 for the both of you. What's $70 for the both of you? She actually multiplies what you bring, and she would be like, yo, that's my girl. If she's not like that, then no, do not put the investment in. But you're investing in your future if you're investing in your girl. So it makes sense
absolutely
in those situations. But you gotta know how you value her. That's the thing. If she's not worth the meal, then don't buy the meal.
You know what's different? We're separating the boys versus the men, but let's separate the man versus the women. You know what we would not do? We would not be with somebody who we're not at least sure about. If you're just a guy that we are not sure if we want a future with, we don't see a future with you, we're not gonna take you to meet our friends. We're not gonna do all of that stuff. We gotta make sure that you're an all-rounder. That's why when women cheat, it's different. Because when we're cheating, we're cheating with your upgrade. We're moving on to your upgrade. We're moving on. Listen.
Why are you cheating in the first place?
No, that's what I said. When a woman is cheating, that's why it's different. That's why it is harder. Because when a woman cheats or when a woman moves on, we're moving on with your upgrade. Always upgrade, ladies.
We upgrade in one category. He has more money, but he's missing all his.
We're not talking about money. We're not talking about money only. Okay, we're talking about everything else.
I don't really think it could be because again, if you're cheating, that means you didn't break up with your dude. If you didn't break up with your dude, he has a lot of things, but he's pissing you off in one specific area and it's bothering you. So you go out and get that specific thing from somebody else, but that person is not an upgrade. That's not the old.
And you know what's crazy?
You would have touched him from before if he was the old one.
You didn't meet him before, but you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? You're in a relationship and your boyfriend or your wife, your husband, your significant other, they have 80% of what you're looking for in a person. You went out there, you found a man or you found a woman cheating with that person, and it might cost you your relationship. And then when you're with that person, then you realize, shit, this person only have that 20% that my lover didn't have. And that's when a lot of people try to go back to their old flame, their old situation, because they realize that the grass ain't greener on that side. Well, unless it's my side, then that's another story. But you know,
Yo, honestly, with that whole 80-20 thing, like, I've seen those posts and stuff. I think that stuff is garbage, too. Like, I'm the one, and I'm not disagreeing with what you said, but I'm saying, like, being with the person who you view as an 80 is garbage. Like, I would be, because I might spend the rest of my life knowing that you're a B wife at best. Like, that's terrible. Like, or you think I'm a B husband at best. Like, I don't want anybody who's with me who's like, yeah, he got, like, 4/5 of what I like.
No. I think you're thinking about it too literal. It's like, this person knows how to communicate. This person is respectful. This person is a man of his word. This person has a lot of qualities that I look for in a person, versus me moving on with a guy with maybe first of all, maybe that guy has more money and I'm more materialistic and want my man to buy me this and that and the third. And my man, he's a very hardworking man. He pays a lot of bills, so he doesn't have as much money as this person. No, I move on with that person and thinking, oh, well, my man has more money, blah, blah, blah. But this guy, the only thing he has to bring to the table is his money. He doesn't listen. He's cheating. We cannot communicate.
Enough, yes, cause you know what I'm saying.
Jesus.
Well,
he's a cheater. He's not respectful. He hits me around and all of that. And you're like, damn, well, maybe I should have stayed with my man. So it's not even like, oh, I'm just thinking about, or the one was just thinking about, well, he has like 80% of this or whatever the case is. But it's just like, sometimes we move on to people who we think that have better qualities, and we're having a lot of arguments in our relationship because of that issue, the reason why we want to leave, and we see somebody else with that quality, and then we move on and realize that quality is the only thing that person have.
That's what I was saying,
right? Yeah. And the thing is that when they see a guy with the good qualities, you don't like that guy, you like the idea of the guy.
No. I think that's where self-love comes in. I feel like that's where self-love come in, because I will never ever be with someone who doesn't have the qualities that I'm looking for in a man. I feel like a lot of time, no, that's where self-love come in. Self-love is very important, and this is why I always encourage, especially women and men too, everybody deserves love, but especially women, to find yourself, love yourself. We need to experience love from ourselves and knowing what we want. Spend time with yourself, figure out what you want, what you're looking for in someone. How do you want someone to treat you? How do you treat yourself? When you love yourself, you start treating yourself very well. You eat good food. You might work out, not for everybody, but you might work out. You treat yourself very, very kind. And so when you start dating someone, you expect those same things from the person. And if the person is giving you the opposite, you will not entertain it. Because I feel like I know I love myself. And I will not entertain a man who will not make me feel half the love that I give to myself, half the respect that I give to myself.
I think expectations are cool, but you need boundaries. You don't really need expectations, because if you have expectations are like ideals, so you're always going to fall short of somebody's expectations.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's more important to have boundaries, so that when people aren't always at 100% and they're at 90 or they're at 85, they know, okay, you can't hit 84. Like, that has to be a threshold of like where you can fall to. At the end of the day, like, if you keep your man at a standard, or a guy keeps a woman at like an expectation, you put yourself in a situation where you're going to disappointed. Resent that person. You're going to actually be disappointed in that person. Then you gotta start asking yourself, like, why do I have all these expectations on this person? Like, the fact that they fell short in this degree, why does that make me like mad? But that's because you have the wrong mentality over it. Like, humans are by definition flawed. So if you give expectations to people, of course they're gonna mess up. Of course you're gonna have.
You're gonna be disappointed.
Start listening to Summer Walker. Like, of course you are. But like, if you set boundaries and you let them know your boundaries, that's when you know somebody's a good partner. Because at the very least, even at their low, they're not going to trick you in that way. So I feel like that's like a better way to approach relationships, because when you have that whole expectation thing, you're gonna fall short. Someone's gonna fall short. You're gonna fall short. It doesn't matter who you are.
What that song? That Summer Walker song? I should have known better. Yo, no man. I mean the the sample, I gotta big up, you know.
Come on, Usher, that song is fire.
I'll big it up. I'll big up the sample.
I love that though, because she was with London the whole time. He was producing it. Like, she just be saying anything on the tracks, but you're literally with London on the track. Like, it's jokes. Like,
Oh, true.
I love that. It's fraudulent.
I'm scared that the song might grow on me, cause I listen to it on a mix every day. I'm scared it's gonna grow on me, cause you guys know I don't.
It's mad catchy.
I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Javon, thank you for joining us this morning.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, it was great having you. Tell us where we can find you on social media.
Instagram @_profound, and from there we'll see if anything else comes out of that.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Have a good one.
All right.
And thank you guys for tuning in to the Millennial View podcast.
If you enjoyed this discussion that we had, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
And follow us on Instagram @the Millennial View _.